The Cleveland Browns may have walked away with a much-needed win, but the victory did little to silence the storm brewing among their fan base. The final score didn't tell the full story, because behind the smiles and celebration, frustration was mounting. Not at the defense, not at the run game, but squarely at the quarterback position and head coach Kevin Stefanski's refusal to make a change. Once again, the fans watched as Dylan Gabriel struggled under center, and once again Stefanski stood by his man. For many it wasn't loyalty, it was stubbornness. And while the Browns organization tried to spin the win as a team effort, the fans weren't buying it. From the first quarter, it was obvious that the Browns were relying heavily on their ground attack. Quinshon Judkins set the tone immediately, bulldozing through Miami's defensive line like it was made of paper. His runs weren't just productive, they were punishing, explosive, and relentless. Every time he touched the ball, he seemed to drag the Browns forward by sheer willpower. By halftime, it was clear that Judkins wasn't just a key part of the offense. He was the offense. 3 touchdowns later, the rookie running back had given Cleveland everything it needed to control the game. But instead of celebrating his dominance, fans found themselves asking the same painful question. Why is the team so afraid to throw the ball? Dylan Gabriel's stat line told the story of a quarterback lost in his own system. Just 18 pass attempts all game compared to Judkins's 25 carries. The imbalance was glaring, and so were the results. Gabriel never looked comfortable. The Dolphins' defense sensed his hesitation, pressuring him early and often. He was sacked multiple times, his passes sailed high, and every dropback felt like a gamble. Even when he wasn't hit, his decision-making looked shaky. There were open receivers he couldn't find, routes that died mid-play, and drives that stalled the moment he was asked to take command. As the offense sputtered, the fans' chants grew louder. "We want Shatter," they shouted from the stands, demanding the presence of backup quarterback Shatter Sanders, a young star known for his poise and playmaking ability. The situation was perfect for Shatter to step in. The run game was already dominating, the defense was creating momentum, and the Dolphins were stacking the box in desperation. All the Browns needed was a quarterback who could exploit that. Someone who could move the pocket, read the field, and hit open targets downfield when the defense overcommit. Sanders was built for that kind of game. But Stefanski didn't budge. He stuck with Gabriel as if trying to prove a point. Maybe he wanted to protect Gabriel's confidence. Or maybe he just didn't want to risk the optics of a mid-game benching. Whatever his reasoning, the fans weren't buying it. They saw a coach refusing to adapt, clinging to a decision that could cost the Browns more than a single game. As the tension built, the defense took matters into its own hands. The unit, led by the unstoppable Myles Garrett, turned up the pressure on the Dolphins, forcing a critical turnover that shifted the tide once again in Cleveland's favor. The defense played with controlled chaos, forcing fumbles, breaking through blocks, and closing every window the Dolphins tried to open. It was the kind of defensive performance that defines a season, and it couldn't have come at a better time. But the irony wasn't lost on anyone. While the defense and Judkins were carrying the team, the man paid to lead the offense was barely keeping it afloat. By the fourth quarter, the Browns held the lead, but there was no sense of dominance from the passing game. It was Judkins and Garrett, pure and simple, dragging the team to the finish line. After the final whistle, when the crowd should have been celebrating, there was an uncomfortable silence that quickly turned to murmurs, then to outrage. Fans poured online, venting their frustration across social media, calling out Stefanski and his loyalty to Gabriel. "Don't let Kevin Stefanski fool you when he gets up there after the game," one fan wrote. "We just need a QB. That's it." Another added, "Dylan Gabriel is not it. We want Shatter." The message was clear. Cleveland's fans weren't satisfied with wins that masked deeper problems. In the post-game press conference, Stefanski tried to keep his composure, giving the same answer he's given for weeks. He praised Gabriel's work ethic, his toughness, his preparation. "He works hard every week," Stefanski said. "He's a leader in that locker room." But to fans, that sounded more like damage control than confidence. They didn't want cliches, they wanted results. Gabriel's effort might be commendable, but effort doesn't win games in the NFL. Execution does. And week after week, it's become more apparent that Gabriel's execution isn't at the level it needs to be. Shatter Sanders, meanwhile, remains on the sideline, waiting for his moment. His presence looms large. not just as a player but as a symbol of what could be. His calm under pressure, his ability to extend plays, and his chemistry with receivers make him the spark this offense desperately needs. Fans see it, analysts see it. The only person who seems blind to it is Stefanski himself. And that's what stings the most. Because if there's one thing Cleveland's loyal fanbase has learned over the years, it's that wasted potential hurts worse than losing. Now the Browns face a defining crossroads. The defense is elite. The running game is dominant. The pieces are there. But until the quarterback situation is addressed, the ceiling for this team will remain painfully low. Wins like this might buy Stefanski time, but they won't buy him trust. Fans know what they're seeing. A team one move away from being great and a coach too hesitant to make it. The city of Cleveland has waited too long, suffered too many heartbreaks, to settle for mediocrity disguised as progress. They want bold decisions, leadership that reflects the hunger of the players and the passion of the fans. And if Stefanski doesn't deliver that soon, the cheers that filled the stadium after this victory will quickly turn into boos of impatience. So, Browns fans, what do you think? Is Kevin Stefanski protecting Dylan Gabriel out of loyalty? Or is he simply afraid to admit he's wrong? Has Gabriel done enough to deserve another start? Or is it finally time to unleash Shatter Sanders and see what he can do? Could a quarterback switch be the missing piece that takes this team from potential to powerhouse? Let us know your thoughts down below.